A prerequisite for pretty much any project is having a source control repository. So we're going to create one today using GitHub. We're going to hit a couple of challenges and hopefully answer a couple of questions that you might have if you've not done this before. If you've set up a GitHub repository before, probably not much of value in this particular show. Okay, I was going to do a show also to show how to sign up with GitHub, but it's just so easy. Would be absolutely no value in creating that kind of show. When you do create it, it will be free initially, and even if you end up having to pay for it, then it's not expensive. I've got a paid account. I probably don't even need it anymore. I got it to get some extra free private repositories, but yep, not necessary anymore because private repositories are also unlimited. So go ahead, grab your account if you don't have one already. Then you want to come into repositories and do new. All right, now you're going to have to choose an owner, and I'm going to call mine sprint deploy, learn, repeat. Okay, give it a description, that's probably helpful. Public or private, up to your project. Mine's going to be public. Yes, I want to add a README file. I strongly recommend that, and keep it and add some information in there, because I don't know about you, but I forget stuff. And it's useful to have stuff in the README file. Gitignore, definitely add a gitignore. I'm going to leave it off in this case because we're going to see a problem that can happen if you don't have that there. And choosing a license, again, I'm going to make mine is public. It's open source. I believe that's the most open source license. But do your own research. Start there. It's fairly extensive and potentially difficult to make a decision. So yeah, do your own research there and create a repository. Okay, now when we've got that, the next move is to clone it locally. So grab from the code the HTTPS URL, go to your command line of choice in the directory that you want to clone it into, and just go git clone, not cline, clone, paste the URL, and away you go. We now have a lovely empty repository. Just print deploy learn repeat, and there it is. Now I've got git posh installed, which works beautifully with PowerShell. Strongly recommend looking that one up. I'll put a link in the show notes because it tells you what the branch you're on and a bunch of other cool stuff. Okay, so what have we got in this file? Just the license and the README. Let's add a new project to see what can happen. Let's get rid of that one. Create a new one. All right, so creating a new project. Doesn't really matter what project, but I'm going to create a web API .NET. I'm going to call it web application 2. Make sure it's in the right folder, which will be this one that we've got down here. So sprint deploy, learn, repeat, and select that as the folder. You probably, it's a general practice to do /src for source. Again, I'm just going to leave it as web application 1. I'm going to delete this later. And never tick this box, place the solution in the same folder as the directories. I'm going to keep all those. In this particular instance, I'm going to disable Docker just because it speeds things up when it opens up. Okay, so we now have some files here, I would think. If I list that out, we've got the source directory, and inside the source directory, there's a web application. So we can then push these changes. So, and I'll just do it from the root. So git status, we saw we had, there's some new files there, but they're not a part of, because they're red, they're untracked. So let's add them. Git add, and just add everything that's there. What do we get? We get an error. So what is this error? Some sort of file index, permission denied. That looks like some sort of Visual Studio type file. This is the kind of problem you can see if you don't include your gitignore file from as part of your project. So let's do that now. To grab it, I'm just going to steal from the existing, from another new repository. Just very quickly, delete me. And don't really care about any of that, but I do care about this, and I'm going to use Visual Studio. And I'm not going to worry about the license because I literally only want the gitignore. And we can just take it straight from here. This is what the contents look like. And I'm just going to, the quickest and easiest way to get this down onto my new repository that is local is to just add it directly here. And it's just called .gitignore. Yeah, and let's just open that with Visual Studio Code. All right, so let's gitignore. Just drag that in a bit. Paste that in there, save. Now we'll try and add it again and do a git status, and we can see that it's added all of the files that we care about and none of the files that we don't want to have included. So it's fairly extensive what's in that gitignore file, and there is a lot of files that Visual Studio can add that we don't want to keep in source control. All right, next thing we want to have a quick look at is the README file, because we created one. So what does that look like? Well, thanks for creating that, but it's really quite not interesting. So what does an interesting one look like? Well, again, let's just steal it. So git readme empty template. Okay. And yeah, there's a simple readme template. Look at raw. Okay, let's just steal all of that. Paste it in here. Okay, now here's a cool thing about Visual Studio Code. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. There's a thing called profiles. If we go into preferences, profiles, there's a doc writer profile that is going to help you to edit these the README file. And if I just go to open preview, that's what it's going to look like in GitHub, and this is how we edit it. What the profile does is it adds extensions that are specific and helpful to doing like these markdown and markdown emojis. So I think it's something like, what is it? Smile? What does that do? There we go. Without the doc editor, that just comes across here as smile. So give it a shot. All right, so the next thing we probably want to do after we've saved that change is git status. Where are we at? Oh, we've got a new file. So let's just add our new file. Make sure that it's included. Now we want to do a very quick commit, and I'm going to add with a message in my initial commit. Now it's committed. We can see again with git status we've got one commit, and then let's push it. Now if we go back to our repository, not this one, this is the one we created just to grab the README file. So we're going to go into our sprint deploy learn repeat repository, and there's all of our code changes, including, you can see our README still needs a bit of work. All right, now with this repository here, if you've created a repository and you decide, oh, yeah, there's absolutely rubbish in there, let's get rid of it. Settings is where you can delete a repository. Obviously be really careful, it is in the danger zone. Delete the repository, you're going to need the name, of the repository. Make sure you really want to, and then delete. Gone. All right, so today we created a brand new repository in GitHub. Saw just how easy that is. We cloned it locally, made some changes and pushed those changes after fixing a scary problem with GitHub. If you want to create a .NET 8 API, check out the links below, because go through some of the options you've got there and just reasons for deciding one way or the other. All right, so thanks for watching. Be kind, be curious, and go create something great.